interesting thing between Jensen going up against Insanity, because it's a pretty wide difference for what they actually play.
Quirky.
There's the Orianna, switching it up.
So we got the Orianna. Wait a minute.
No, we got the Orianna for Insanity. Turtle, explain what's happening.
Well, we just decided to be a little bit more traditional now. You know, we don't want to be that crazy with the Garen, Zach, Sion. Thought if we played normal stuff, we might actually have a chance to win.
This is actually great having you here though, because you were on stage for the first 2 games of the split with Shopify Rebellion. What's the vibe like from Shopify in Champ Select? Like, who is driving?
It's kind of like a group effort at the moment, and Sam kind of lets us, like, he puts like fuel to our fire sometimes. Like if we suggest something crazy, he'll just let us do it.
Sam is Revan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Revan, our coach Revan. I saw FlyQuest hovering that Kai'Sa a little bit. Kind of got me worried because I want the Kai'Sa on my team.
Oh well, Kai'Sa in
Now
the
you're
Smolder.
Let's see if we get it back. Let's see if we get it back. Oh my God.
Yeah, actually earlier
I want the Kai'Sa.
Earlier we showed a clip in which Massu was walking through Smolder, so like seems like that's a pick that they've really clung onto. And I mean, they've seen the earlier games. Tomo ran a little bit of a shop in some of these team fights. He was a terror. So being able to see another Smolder game is gonna be fun.
Oh, Xayah's pretty solid too against the Bvoy. Rakan
The
swapped
classic.
it up last second.
Yeah,
Wait, this is standard.
Our comp's pretty good so far.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, this is
Standard
the
comp.
most standard comp I think I've seen you guys run. That's
SR's
right.
trying to win now.
Maybe
One of the training weights.
So maybe I can't decide whether it's like that or you're trolling me and somehow the Ori is going like top or something.
No.
FakeGod Orianna time.
Yeah, I know.
Orianna's going mid.
Okay, so Turtle, what's the matchup like with Smolder versus Xayah then?
I just think it's like a farming lane, and then you have the Rakan being able to threaten the Smolder, so I think it should be pretty favored to Rakan now that Kraken Slayer is like extremely buffed.
Speaking of just threatening a pick, we got the Azir locked in, which is the idea, I'm sure, alongside Vyze to just threaten Orianna mid, so it's not going to be that safe. Also, just like Azir versus the short range of Xayah. That being said, I'm reminded of a tweet that Jensen put out where he said that Ori and Azir until it's banned. Or Azir was not banned, Orianna was picked, so there it is.
There you go. We're
Got a
scoring
classic
on
matchup in mid.
And you see
They're not cowards. They did it.
Yeah. FlyQuest taking out the Nocturne. We've seen a variety of Orianna Nocturne combos, some successfully, some not as successful. And taking out Bwipo's Olaf from the Shopify Rebellion side. Turtle, when you guys are looking at a team like FlyQuest, because obviously people have to prepare for stuff that Insanity is going to throw in the mid lane, but when you're looking at FlyQuest, do you consider like Bwipo's top lane champ pool? Because he's willing to slam a lot of unique picks there.
Yeah, we're always a little worried about giving him the counter pick, but I think in this case, we're always hoping to get the Udyr. We did not get that, so I wonder what FakeGod is going to do. I'm guessing he's going to go for the Aatrox.
He is an insane Aatrox player.
Yeah. I think FlyQuest will probably pick the Renata on the 4. I actually don't know what pairs very well with Smolder.
Yeah, well, you were trying to figure that out earlier. It's still because it's such a new champion.
Yeah.
I think it will be Renata on 4, just because I think it's a good champion.
The support matchup, like
Yeah.
Rakan versus Renata, more so than the AD carry pairing. Would make a lot of sense.
And
I think Busio is also a Renata player.
I mean, or Pyke.
Pyke is not very good here, but I hope he picks it.
I was gonna say, I
hope he picks it.
I mean, if you're gonna pick a hook champ,
This is kind of Pyke?
I mean, it's long.
They locked it.
I'm a little shocked. I didn't expect that.
So what's your thought on this bot lane matchup? Because
He should have just picked Pyke at this point.
Right?
I don't know why he's going for the Blitz. Just like ruining it for all the fans out there.
Wukong also.
Brother
received some
Zeyzal, look at
chance.
that beard.
Oh,
nice.
my God!
Woo.
Wow.
They can't hear us, can they?
They can't.
Respect.
Although I could tell you that they don't, and then I'd wonder what you say.
Okay.
Yeah, I just said no. And then I was
There it is, the
waiting for
Wukong,
turtle
Boogie
fight.
Wukong.
This is the first time we've seen it, actually.
It got a couple buffs. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's good.
Yeah.
I'm still not a fan of the champion, but let's just see.
I think those buffs were more targeted at his laning, right?
It was
Or-
meant to buff
I expect
lane
the
more than
Aatrox.
jungle, but he's always been such a good jungler. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I expect the Aatrox to be picked.
Pick Alawi, you cowards. I feel like there's a trend with people holding up posters
signs.
calling people cowards to pick a champion.
It's working pretty well.
It is working.
Yeah.
Common Smolder.
Honestly, true. there's the Aatrox that you expected. And honestly, Shopify's composition as a whole is
It's pretty
clear.
solid. It's
Yeah.
pretty solid. Very standard.
It's cohesive.
It makes
looks
sense.
pretty
We
easy
got
to
Orianna,
execute.
pulls
Yeah.
it all together.
There's a lot of threats from the side of FlyQuest, at least with Blitzcrank, Bvoy, I mean, a lot of single targets, so Xayah has to be concerned. That's going to be a Ksante being locked in. So thoughts so far on the compositions? Which ones do you guys favor?
I like blue side.
Yeah, why?
I just have unknown reasons of why I might take blue side.
Okay, well, we got that out of the way. We're handing this to the casters, but I've heard that Azael has a score to settle with Busio.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. You know, Busio tweeted out, he said he was going to play Pyke. I retweeted it. You know, we helped him get the followers. He gained 1,000 followers. Yeah. But you know what? When you break trust, there has to be a reckoning here, Busio.
No.
It's coming, Busio. I told you. If you lied, if you bamboozled, I'm unfollowing.
Alan, I fear you have made a terrible mistake. Losing the Azael follow, that is like losing social credit at the highest possible.
He can earn it back, though, with a good Blitz game.
Okay.
Because Blitz is pretty hype.
Yeah.
If he picked like a Lulu, that's like a block. You know, that's the next step. Blitz earned him only an unfollow because he lied to me, but he lied to me with something cool. So
Yeah.
we'll give him a pass.
I don't know. Lying is still pretty bad.
In almost no games I've watched Smolder, and I both played and watched a lot of it, can you actually stand there and just auto attack? It almost never happens. The range is very, very short. There is crit scaling on the E, so some people do kind of make that argument, but I just think it's so irrelevant compared to the synergy that Leandries and Rift has with the flat damage amp you're going to get,
Yeah.
and how tanky it makes you, how early you can get involved in these fights. It is going to be a Comet Smolder here. He's playing Ghost Flash, so we're going to see W level 1 pretty much guaranteed, and I'm curious to see how many points he's going into it. Most of the pros I know are kind of a mind that you go 3 points W into Qmax. I have seen when people are going more the build that I'm talking about, sometimes people will go 5 points W, and it becomes really powerful both for wave clear and for a lot of these fights. You know, the range on it is very high if you're getting multi-man Ws. You know, with that early 5 points, it is significant damage. So there's a lot to learn with this champion. Doran's Ring, definitely the correct start. You know, a lot of people were kind of getting baited by going D-Blade, and it is significantly worse. You do need the additional mana. The AP pretty nice as well. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. Also in the game we saw earlier, the Smolder stacks actually came online very late. You know, generally, we'll see if it is going to be slower on average in Pro, because again, it's like, even with perfect farm, you really accelerate your stacks by fighting, right? So if there's less fighting in Pro, maybe the stacks will be slower on average than in solo queue. The fastest I personally been able to get it is around 17, 18 minutes. Most of my games, I feel like, you know, you're going to get it maybe around like 22 or something, but I'm not doing it perfectly by any means. I have heard of a game where I think it was Nemesis apparently got it in 14, 15 minutes. That's the fastest I have heard of.
That is insanely fast.
If you're able to like stack perfectly, there's also a lot of little tricks you can do. Again, I don't know if people are really going to let you do them, but you can stack off Void Mites with your Q. You can stack off off the mini Raptors, off the mini Krugs. Like, you can start to one-shot all those pretty quick, and you can get a ton of extra stacks if your jungler is willing to donate those over to you.
Right. So as we pull up our Kia multi-lane, I want to remind everyone, while we're on the live patch, and, you know, shout out to our commish, Mark Z, for letting us play on the live patch first before any other major region. Champions, when they are enabled, are still the same for every region, which is 2 weeks. That is a global rule. So there have already been scrims and practice with Smolder in these past 2 weeks. So we're going to see how much FlyQuest have really rehearsed coming into their first game of Smolder.
Exactly, and also, you know, on the inverse side, how well Shopify can punish. Someone else I really want to talk about is Insanity, because he has just been doing such an interesting thing this split. You know, bringing out, you know, very unique picks. He has played all kinds of different champions, and a bunch of them are actually ones that really only he is playing. You know, if you're not watching leagues around the world, you may not realize both Garen and Zach, he's the only one in the entire world in this season, not even just major regions, of any pro league, including ERLs, etc., that has played these picks mid lane. There's also the Scion. He has 2 out of the total 4 picks globally as well in any league, again, to play it. So he is playing some very atypical stuff, and it's been a lot of fun to watch as Busio tries to time his hook with the mini dematerializer, but I think he did a little bit
early. A little early. I like the thought process there.
Wouldn't have that problem if you pick Pyke, buddy, would you?
I think it was still the timing of the, I guess, the minion dematerializer, but you know what? I sympathize with your plight here, as Bugi
True. He might have still had that problem.
Maybe. Now, Bugi was in the area, but not a lot of diving power with Wukong early on. You bring a lot of damage, but no real CC, so just making sure that no one is in the area and just providing some defensive coverage in case Inspired ever off of the reset that he's about to go for, comes back bot lane, but Jensen's very low, and Bugi, once again, not a lot of diving power on Wukong. If you ever see that, then you have to know that it has to be for a guaranteed kill, and Jensen is still safe in this position.
Insanity doing very well, though, in this 1v1. You know, really has been pressuring Jensen in these early levels. Wukong, they touched on it at the desk. Did get buffs on this patch. Nice double W there. Does connect, and that's 2 stacks.
Knock up from Busio as he kites on back to protect Massu. Making sure that they're not in the flash hook, and Bvoy at the very last frame gets out.
Is going to be able to flash out of there. Jensen really getting lit.
Oh
here.
My goodness.
The pressure just kind of non-stop there from Insanity. Zeyzal going to be able to stop with Busio on that recall. You can see Massu, they wanted to reset, and Massu is still going to reset, but this means the wave is going to crash unless Inspire can come hold it. At the very least, he's going to lose some of these minions, but we'll see. Can they get Bvoy, who has no flash?
Yeah, no flash available. He might pop the ghost, but they knock up into the Q, as guarantees the damage, but Bvoy does enough damage with Zeyzal. They get first blood, and now Inspired is forced to flash. Don't tell me. He gets out the ghost, kiting this one out. Inspired's waiting for the Q. Zeyzal flashes in front to block it. That's teamwork right there.
That is a really smart flash from Zeyzal. If he does not go for that, Inspire might have been able to finish him off, but they try to go for the big play here. They try to look to punish Bvoy. Even without Massu there, they can't do it. He walks out. They give up first blood. Critical, though, for them, it went to Zeyzal. So you are really happy that at least the first blood went over to Zeyzal, but it's a 1.2k goldie, 1.3k, briefly as it jumped up there. Only 5.5 minutes in. That is actually a ridiculous lead this early on. That is telling you you're winning in farm. You also have that kill gold, so really, really big. I can see Darksteel here for Massu for a little bit more early laning power. It does have the longsword, so we'll have to see where he's going to go. Longsword obviously not telling us a lot. It does build into a ton of different items. It could be Shojin, could still be Essence Reaver.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious to see where he's going to take us. And check out on his build. Let's see what he's doing so far. He is just the 2 points. W as expected. At the very least, he's going to go 3, and I kind of want to see if he goes beyond that after he hits level 7.
Yeah. And guys, this Snot Bubble is going to deal a decent amount of damage later into the laning phase, as you already see a little bit of that power with the Aatrox. As, once again, the replay, they try to look for the damage, but it's just not enough once Inspired comes back, and just really pristine flash here from Bvoy.
Yeah, nice flash, does react to it, and then this is post-Inspired flashing after him. The Q is here just in time, but Zeyzal flashes in front. Support dip, blocks it up, and Jensen going to be forced to actually shuffle him away as Insanity looked for the sombrero there, trying to connect on him with the ult. He couldn't quite find it.
That would have been crazy. You know, Chef Chalet, as D-Gon coined him, was looking for a creative angle there, but now that is Jensen's flash gone. So the next time Bugi pays a visit, and he's going to be level 6 soon, that's an easy Cyclone follow-up to make.
Yeah, you can hit him with that Cyclone, try to get in there, look for that gank setup. Obviously, being able to go into the clone, you W in with the Orianna ball on you, and then you Nimbus strike forward, the shockwave can come through. It is a really nice little point of initiation, especially if you're coming out of a brush, they don't see you approaching. That can be very surprising, and is that powerful engage they can be looking for. As nice little flap there from Massu.
Yes, sir.
Gets out to the side. That fly is a big injection of speed, but it lasts very little time, so you kind of have to be on point with it, but as we see it showcased there, Massu has the reaction time to be able to step out of it.
Oh, Busio might be in trouble here. No flash, and there's the Cyclone from Bugi as he gets ready to throw down the staff, and Zeyzal picks up another kill.
Yeah, nicely done. They get another kill again. Unfortunately, goes to Zeyzal. There's a little greedy down on that bot lane. Share the love, Zeyzal. 2 kills on the Rakan. It is only 2 kills so far in this game. The W to prep the wave. He's going to look to try to last out all of these with the Q. Once you have 25 stacks again, it becomes AoE. It becomes very easy to just do W into Q on the backline and one-shot that. And remember, any minion that does get last hit, it's not just the one that you shoot your Q at. So if you have AoE and you get multiple minions, you get multiple stacks with the Q, so that's something to remember. You really do have to focus on stacking if you guys want to play this champion at home. And trust me, even if pros are playing the crit build, it's definitely a lot easier to play the HP-based build because it's a lot more forgiving for your positioning.
Yeah, building durability gives you a little bit more breathing room and larger room for error as FlyQuest trying to prep this dragon, but Bugi, Insanity, and Zeyzal are also here. 2K on the HP. Busio with the hook finds Zeyzal. The Achu gets a decent amount of damage, but Zeyzal's not in any threat. Just dances over the wall. And red team, aka FlyQuest, are able to pick up the dragon.
Yep, going to be able to grab that. Nice little bit of poke back as well. 49 stacks now for Massu, so not a crazy pace. Of course, it does accelerate as you get further into the game. It is going to be that Sheen buy, so it likely will be the Essence Reaver.
Darn.
Again, unfortunately, I really want to see the other build. I'll try to be a build salesman. You know, I've got to go talk to some pros, convince him.
Yeah.
I was trying to sell tactical on it earlier, but he wasn't. He seemed intrigued. I won't say he was sold.
Well, he definitely witnessed the power of Smolder firsthand in the second game of the day. Mom! They're pushing my tower! Clear the wave, please! As FlyQuest are going to be able to make sure that no more plates go to the side of Shopify. If Massu might be in trouble, decent knockup, but it's more damage done to Zeyzal than it is done to Massu here.
Yep, not too big of a deal. Just use the ulti to clear that out. He is, in fact, going the 3 points W into Qmax. That's basically what we always are seeing with the Essence Reaver build these days. So he's going to be going that kind of more common crit build. Inspired, obviously, just clearing away here on the top side, has been focusing on the camps, is a little bit ahead of the farm as a result, but Insanity here maybe getting caught out.
Looks like he's fine for now. Still has flash. Jensen doesn't, so he has to be a little bit more careful about how he approaches the river here. Insanity trying to set up an offensive position in case he does. First grub has already been taken by Bugi, and Inspired has flash available.
Bvoy is here as well, though, and Smolder is way behind on the rotation, so this should be Shopify's. Don't think they're going to be able to contest on the FlyQuest side.
And there's no dragon to take, as they already took it just a couple minutes ago. So full grubs controlled by Shopify Rebellion, but Busio is going to take this opportunity to set up some aggressive vision in this red side jungle. And Zeyzal knows. He knows that they saw them dip into the fog of war, so now Zeyzal and Bvoy have to be careful. Play through the mid wave. The shockwave is going to connect on to Jensen. I don't think he has flash quite yet. He has to shift on over, and he gets out alive.
Yep, going to be okay. Of course, there's not a lot of AP behind that shockwave. It's a tier and an amp tome plus the Doran's ring, so.
Busio?
Oh! Nice attempt there. Tried to time it out. Obviously, they have that ward up above. As Massu just looking for some W poke here, trying to get that WQ, again, getting as many stacks as possible. Every opportunity that he has. And you can see, you know, it's not as weak of a laner as people think. You know, in the initial days, people were all doing Qmax, and they're talking, well, this champion, you can't even lane. It's terrible. You know, how are you supposed to get to those stacks? But they're actually doing quite well in this 2v2. You know, he is 15 CS ahead, in fact, you know, stacking reasonably well. Again, we'll have to kind of get a better barometer for like what a good rate of stacking is in pro, because it is just a lot less scrappy than when you're playing solo queue and you're just having all these fights nonstop where you can get a ton of stacks.
Yeah.
Because if you have a long extended fight where you're just queuing someone on cooldown and hitting multiple people with your W, you can walk out of a fight with like 20 stacks, no problem.
True. I still can't get over the fact that Nemesis caught it in 14.
This is something that I haven't actually watched the game. This is what someone told me, so maybe this is totally fake news.
Okay, maybe.
But I'm going to try to find the VOD.
Yeah. I mean, 225.
I want to see what the fastest possible is.
Yeah, because we're about 12 minutes, and Massu has gotten about just under 75.
Yeah.
So he still has about 3 more iterations of this. So if we're going at this same pace, it would take until about, what, 33, 36 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
But obviously, maybe if there's more scrapping towards the mid game, he can accelerate that.
And it does speed up as you get more items, because your cooldowns get lower. So it's like early on in the game, you're not getting every single last hit with your Q.
Sure.
Right? It's just not going to happen, because you need to be able to actually push the wave and so on. As you get later on in the game, you do literally get like every last hit with your Q. So it does accelerate. But I do think, you know, even if you're not getting it by like 22 minutes, at least for the games that I've played, that is pretty slow. And I think 22 minutes is nowhere close to optimized. I do know that some other players that I've talked to are saying in their solo queue games, they're able to get it, you know, sub 20, basically like very consistently. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how that does kind of work itself out in pro. FlyQuest wins this game. Smolder in his first week will have more wins than losers. You're not wrong.
Yeah. That's crazy. You know, that just adds more to, you know, late game scaling narrative for NA marksman in general. But FlyQuest seem to be preparing for this next dragon, as Shopify Rebellion are the first ones in the river. Zeyzal marking, making sure that he's scoping out vision here and clearing out these wards that FlyQuest are trying to put down to give them that safe entrance into this objective point. Looks like Bvoy is able to clear out the wave first. He's going to get the chance to reset before Dragon spawns in the next 40 seconds. So He might be, I don't know if he has enough gold for a first full item. He does. Kraken Slayer online, so Bvoy is going to be decently strong for this next fight.
Yep, he's going to be looking pretty strong. Up in the top lane, you can see Bwipo just went straight towards that Thornmail rush here, didn't stop for Tabbies. I don't really love the full Thornmail completion, as a first item. I just think in general, heel cut early on, especially against the Aatrox, if you're not going to have kill threat anyway, is super overrated. I'm really just kind of a fan in general of these builds where you just go Bomby and then you go into Frozen Heart or Koenig, depending on if you're laning against physical damage or MR, and then you just build the other. Like, I just think that build is so strong. Be interested to talk to Bwipo because he is someone who really is very opinionated about the builds and does think kind of deeply about them. Maybe the logic here is that he can just kind of force trades and take a lot more scraps that are going to be in his favor.
Oh, Shockwave right onto Jensen, the Cyclone and the knockups from Zeyzal. There is no room to breathe on that one. Shopify making a clean execution on Jensen.
Yeah, Busio able to flash out, but Jensen not reacting in time or potentially not thinking he needed to flash. But he is going to be burst down in a hurry, so this Dragon should be Shopify's no problem off the pick there. Jensen going to be able to TP when he's up, but the Dragon should be gone before then.
Yeah, I think the only thing that Busio is playing for is maybe an isolated pick here. Inspire, wait, teleport is being committed by both top laners. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Busio is getting chunked out, looks for the silence, but he gets bursted out by Bvoy. Bwipo's on the other side, on the wrong side of the fight as well. Inspired, getting marked out by FakeGod. Here's the teleport from Jensen, but Bugi secures it, and he gets out over the wall. FlyQuest, they don't really have an angle to force another fight unless Bwipo can find a knockup with this Q. Looking for the third Q, right onto Bvoy, but there is the Featherstorm as he's able to get out.
Yeah, going to be able to get out. Jensen, though, looking for the angle.
The scoop finds FakeGod, but the angle is not good enough for him to really find a kill on there. FlyQuest just really devastatingly not getting anything out of this fight.
Yeah, they don't get much whatsoever. They try to kind of force their way in anyway. Clearly did not want to give up that Dragon, wanted to maintain their Dragon stacking here, got the first one, trying to look for scraps again. When you have Smolder, you want to be taking these fights, getting those additional stacks from it, but because Jensen was picked off prior, they did not have a good setup whatsoever. And unfortunately for them, not going to walk away with anything. They didn't push out the side lanes. They didn't really get anything from that.
I have to wonder if FlyQuest are... Oh no, Jensen. He has flash available. He should be fine. Flash away from 2W, but Bugi, oh no. Jensen getting taken out. Man, Shopify Rebellion have really put a focus on Jensen in this game, and he's had an incredible split so far. This is a game where he's really been the focus, though.
Yeah, he absolutely has. And, we can take a look at how Jensen is doing this split versus last, because he's actually been really good for FlyQuest this split. On the left, that is Jensen this split on FlyQuest. On the right, that is Jensen last split on Dignitas. So it really has been stepping up his game, and as a result, clearly Shopify coming in, wanting to put the focus on him, wanting to try to knock him down a peg. And they have gotten Insanity into this good spot. He is definitely in that advantageous position. Boogie's getting a lot of kills as well. And Wukong, though it is not as strong, I think, when we were seeing it a lot last year, it's definitely a pretty strong pick, and it is someone that does really well with gold. You can snowball heavily, you can threaten that backline, especially when you have other people that can dive with you, like the Rakan, like the Aatrox, like the assistance of a speed up and a shockwave coming through from the Orianna. So, Bugi in a great spot here to potentially carry this game. There are quite a few squishy people on that other side. You're looking at Smolder, you're looking at Azir. If Smolder misvisions at all, with this build, you just get one shot.
And then Bugi is going to be still dealing a ton of damage. Even though the Divine Sunder made him so durable and tanky with all the pseudo-sustain you were getting with those empowered Q stacks, the Stridebreaker, recently getting buffed on this patch, is going to ensure that once Bugi finds someone, he's going to stay on top of them with that slow active that you get as well. The fact that Shopify Rebellion are really accelerated in this game against a composition that is taking time to really scale on up means that they have the advantage to try and close this one out before FlyQuest gets to that point.
Yeah, both the passive cleave got buffed as well as the active on that little shockwave there. As Massu just going to be clearing out that wave.
Uh-oh, but Mom is not enough to bail out Massu under the tower. Inspire's going to be falling next. FakeGod picking up an easy double, and they've got another charge. Here comes the Herald as it crashes once again. Shopify Rebellion, 7-0 at 18 minutes against the #1 team in the LCS.
Man, they are looking so good in this game. They are crushing them. And they've already picked up wins against Cloud9 and NRG. They're picking up wins against all these expected top teams. Then they'll go and they'll drop games against some of the teams that you're thinking, oh, they should be able to beat these guys. So it is so interesting. They have kind of become the new era CLG, the counter logic gaming here. But what a great Q there from FakeGod, interrupting the dash there from Massu. When you get Q'd out of the 5-5 flat, that is gone. The follow-up was there from Zeyzal as he flashed forward, and they burst down Massu, really making his job difficult. He wanted to clear it out with the W, with the ult. He got everything except the cannon, but the Rift Herald is there too. So they just forced the dive right in on after it. And it looks like it's probably going to be just a rapid-fire second here for him.
Bwipo just tangoing with FakeGod, but Bugi might be ready to Bugi himself, as Bwipo still has some reinforcements in stage right, as Busio is going to escort him out of danger there. But Shopify Rebellion, I just want to circle back to the fact that they are doing so well, because all their wins have been against the top teams in the LCS, but I think that just reiterates how, maybe you can say whether it doesn't indicate the strength and the competitiveness of our region overall, but it's been super entertaining that the fact that there's no free wins that you can get with any single team. Last year, I think I barred 2 teams, you would always be like, well, all right, the 10th place team is going to be taken out here, but every single team, you cannot just be at all complacent with them, because they will definitely steamroll ahead of you.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw the teams coming into this week that were tied at the bottom. Dig, Shopify. Dig already got a win. Shopify looking like they're in a great position to get a win here as well. These teams are very competitive. They have strong players. Inspired, is he going to go for it? I think he's too far gone.
Yeah. FakeGod already burning the flash, but Inspired's going to chase him past the tower, and he has Busio here. Is it enough damage, though, as he pops the World Ender, and that might just be enough to dissuade the fight from happening. And meanwhile, Bugi is on the other side of the map taking a free dragon, because FlyQuest are dedicating so many resources just to take out FakeGod.
Yeah, they're sitting 3 top here. They're going to be able to get a little chip damage.
Oh my God.
Now they're going to TP. It's 5 top for FlyQuest. They need to make this work.
They are all in on this play. A teleport is coming in from Shopify. Will it come in time, though? Here comes Mom. FakeGod, a lot of damage, but Bvoy comes from the right as he looks to be able to equalize the fight. FakeGod has already fallen, but Bwipo might be the next one, as Bvoy cannot step up in range. Insanity gets speared by Jensen on the back half. That's a double to FlyQuest and a little bit of light.
Yeah, that is big. Getting a couple kills. They needed to make this play work here. Shopify try to come in and save him. Bvoy in some trouble potentially.
Busio looking for the hook, but he dodges out with his own flash. Zeyzal is getting bounce house in the middle of all of them, but Bvoy finds one back on a Jensen. Now it's to kite this one out against Bwipo, but he doesn't have the ultimate anymore. Massu's able to deal the finishing blow alongside Bwipo. Here comes Bugi. Cyclone finds the baby dragon, as now Bwipo is left to scraps, but he's got 3 more members. Oh, Busio, he falls. Does Bugi does have enough damage here? Here comes the teleport. The fight has lasted so long. Bugi just danced all over them.
Bugi goes huge for Shopify. FlyQuest felt like they were getting back into this game, but it's Bugi crosses the map after taking the dragon and crushes them on the play. FlyQuest, they know they are behind. They know they need to make a play. They'd already forced out FakeGod's ult. The Mom comes through. The initial burst, very good. Look at that multi-man W as well from Bwipo, setting up the squad. Then the stasis here from Insanity, but as he steps forward, Jensen finds an angle to knock him down. We've got to look back at live, though, as they are on the Baron. This play went on for a long time as the flash forward from Jensen reacted to there by Bvoy. The mechanics on these players are on point. Busio in the area, gets vision. Inspired is running from base, but will it be too late? Are they going to try to flip this?
2K, Jensen, unless he can get a miracle steal, but the smite is good from Bugi. Shopify Rebellion, 22 minutes into the game, 12-4, 6K gold up, Baron at their side. If you told me this would be the result coming into this game, I would still be surprised, but man, I have been loving the LCS so far this season, man. This is just such an exciting second game to follow up what the banger we already had in Team Liquid and 100 Thieves, and it looks like it just keeps on delivering in week 4.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been getting really cool picks. The teams have been very competitive. Has been a lot of fun. For FlyQuest at this point, you want to say, well, maybe Smolder can bail us out, but not even 160 stacks here, 22 minutes in. So Massu's struggling to keep up those stacks, to still be involved in the plays, to maximize the stacking, has not really been able to do it. Yes, you do still have the Azir, you have the Smolder, so if the game can go really long, there is opportunities. But again, with this build, there's so little room for error. You are so squishy with this build compared to the more tanky versions. And there's a really powerful dive. There's a 5-kill Wukong, who now has the Sundered Sky plus that Stride Breaker. Insanity, farming pretty well. He's in a pretty strong spot behind him on those 2 items. So it's going to be tough for Massu to stay alive, even if he can get to the stacks that he so desperately needs. Will he be able to live in a fight? I don't really know.
And it's just not even 2 items yet at this point compared to Bvoy, who's already working on a 3rd. So severely behind. And I think FlyQuest took a huge gamble by having such a heavy scaling composition. All eyes were on Inspired to really be that bridge, but ever since that bot lane outplay from Bvoy and Zeyzal, who, I mean, Bugi has been performing insanely well this game as well, but in every single win from Shopify Rebellion so far, it has always been some type of fumbled attempt to shut down Bvoy and Zeyzal from the beginning. When you look at the energy game, they tried to go for the dive, they got blasted. When C9 tried to go for the dive, they got blasted. And when FlyQuest tried to upset them once again, they fear the same fate.
It's tough, man. You know, you make mistakes, this team will punish you. This time, you know, wasn't about a dive or anything like that. I really think it's just been about solid play here from Shopify. Bugi, right place, right time, everywhere he needed to be throughout this game, putting on pressure, keeping his farm up. You know, he has really just been such a difference maker here. Massu now does have that rapid fire completed. You can see Sterix through now for Inspired as well. But the item completion is still not really inspiring a lot of confidence that they can get it done here, as everyone on the other side is kind of equal or ahead, except for mid lane, where Jensen, with that death cap now, you start to say, hey, maybe you get that right fight for the Azir, and it could happen.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You know, they do have some X Factor style champions. They have good engage. They have good pick with potential hooks from Blitz. But Blitz from behind is just such a bad champion. It is really difficult to find those angles for hooks, as the ulti just getting thrown out time and time again here for wave clear. They're just trying to buy time. They're trying to get these stacks. It's 192 now for Massu, so he is closing in on that benchmark that he needs.
There's pings for a teleport. This is a long con flank from Bwipo, but who do they want to look for? Zeyzal is going to pop the quickness, finds the target on Inspired as well. They pull Insanity. Can they burst him out? He goes golden with the stasis. Is that enough time? Shockwave on to 2. Massu and Jensen are almost gone. Jensen survives, but Massu falls, as now the rest of FlyQuest are all depending on Jensen to save this game from ending right here.
Yeah, Jensen's in trouble. He's got to run.
They look for another one. Jensen still has no HP to work with. Almost going down to FakeGod. He falls. A straight feather from Bvoy clips him, as Shopify Rebellion will find 4, and it's just Busio left.
Oh, that hook from Busio might have actually ended the game. He hooked him in, and unfortunately it means, yes, they get a kill, but Jensen goes down as well. That extra little bit of damage was all they needed. Massu's going to be back up in 5, but he's got no sums. He instant Ghost Flash when he saw Zeyzal ulting towards him, then had no sums and no E to react to the shockwave from Insanity. That caught him. He instantaneously dies as FakeGod comes over the top with the Q. Looks like they won't feel confident to try to push for the end here. They're going to continue playing towards these objectives with the base in tatters. The inhib down in both bot and top. So will mean a lot of farming is going to be given over to them. Massu looking like he's going towards Zhonya's 3rd as the itemization, I'm guessing there, you know, with the cloth armor plus the...
I mean, maybe just to sit on a Seeker so that he doesn't get insta-blasted, but I mean, at that point, I don't know.
It's tough, right? Because like I'm saying, this is the weakness of the build, which is why I think, you know, it is... Would it have made a difference in this game? Probably not. So let's just put that out there.
Sure.
But you know, I do think, you know, you are so squishy, it's so difficult to actually be in range and auto-attacking. That is why I just straight up don't like the crit build.
Yeah.
And we saw, like, he's recognizing, you know what, I can't really step up. I'm just going to get one shot. And he instantly had to use both his sums. Then he just gets insta-killed by the shockwave plus that Q from FakeGod. So I think it is going to be Seekers or full Zhonyas, you know, working towards that, just trying to stay alive, hoping that they overcommit. Maybe you can use stasis to immune a shockwave and turn around and fight in that way. But
yeah,
obviously, it's tough. It's really tough.
Because when you look at the compositions now on both sides, I mean, like, yeah, FlyQuest have this insane scaling composition, and you have really one major form of disengage. That's the Emperor's Divide. Once that's gone, there's nothing really strong from the side of FlyQuest that stops Bvoy from brute forcing into your team. Zeyzal just blitzing right through. FakeGod just charging forward as well. FlyQuest are just so dependent and so limited on how many ways to disengage in this fight, it feels near impossible.
Yeah, it is really tough, right? You know, range is kind of that weakness. He finally has 225 stacks, so just, you know, before 28 minutes, it did hit that mark. The question is going to be, can he actually effectively use those stacks now? Can you get spam Qs out without just getting one shot, right? Because who are you supposed to step up and Q in this? If you step forward to try to Q the Aatrox and he EQs you, you're probably dead. If you get caught by the Wukong, you're probably dead. Shockwave, dead. So it is going to be really, really tough. He kind of has to really make sure that he's maximizing his damage while still waiting out those initial engage tools. You know, you have to stay close enough that they can fail the engage, then you can punish. That's the only way they can win and they want to get this TP from Jensen. They're trying to force it. He's still staying bot. He's refusing to come in just yet.
Oh, Bugi tries to flank on an Inspired. I don't even think he has flash available. He gets taken out very early on. Massu is the next target. He has the Seekers this time for the stasis, but will even fall. He had the 225 stacks, but just not enough damage as Jensen is trying to do work on the front line while Bwipo stalling, but it's just not enough. Shopify Rebellion are taking everything away from FlyQuest. They don't even need the Baron. They have 2 open inhibitors. They're going to just brute force their way into the game. Bvoy flashing in. Jensen tries to punish, but the rest of Shopify Rebellion rally around Bvoy, their newest player, as Jensen just gets completely obliterated by Bvoy.
Shopify Rebellion are going to do it, taking down FlyQuest, who are in sole possession of first place. They crush through.
The empire of these top teams stand no match for the Rebellion of Shopify as they take down, again, another first place team.
Fun game to watch here. Nicely done on the engage. They start the Baron, they look for the turn. It is again Bugi, finds the ulti, pops a Cyclone, flashes in on top of Smolder, and as Massu tries to use the fly to get over the wall, to flash forward there from Zeyzal, follows up on it, CCing him out of that ability, locks him down, bursts him down. No way for him to get out of there. They were really on point with the hard engage here. Shopify, you know, people have been kind of, some people on one side are really loving that they're cooking and doing all these crazy drafts, but there has become a more vocal group that are saying, well, you guys actually just can't play normal. You can't play a standard draft. You're not going to be able to actually make it work. They kind of are just proving the haters here a little bit, coming out with probably their most impressive, most solid win of the season. Yes, they had already beaten some really top teams, but it was more from punishing their opponents